Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when and where you're viewing this. My name is Mike, and I am the Crypto Liberal. Thanks for joining me again today. It's a it's a great day, right? It's a great day. We're still hovering above that support line. I showed you 5, 6, 7 days ago. Whenever I showed it to you the first time on these videos, we haven't broken it yet. I think the bottom is near. I'm still of the opinion we're not going below, or we're not going down to 20K for Bitcoin. And if we're not going down to 20K for Bitcoin, we've probably seen the lows also for Ethereum and ADA, which, that's my conviction right now. That's my opinion. You got to make your own opinion and decide what you want to do as far as your investments. But so I think things are looking good. So I wanted to start with that support line, right? I've told you I'm not a big technical guy, but so far it's holding. So far I'm looking right, but hey, it can always change, right? So let's start there. Okay, so here we are, right? Here's that support line, that red line going from the lower right to the upper left. And you can see, right, we went down and touched it, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days ago. And went down and touched it. We wicked below it, that's when I told you about it, right? We wicked below it about 6 days ago, and that's when I told you about it. I said, hey, there's this support line there, and I think it's going to hold. And we wicked below it, but closed the daily above it. The next night, or it was that morning, we wicked below it pretty big, down to 25.5, but we closed above it again. And so far, since then, we've kind of been going up slowly, and today is more of a down day. But that's not a bad thing, right? It's not a bad thing, because let me show you this. So as I showed you, 6 days ago when I first pointed out this support line, this goes back a year, right? So the last time we touched it was back here, and I think this was like January 22nd of this year. And we touched it, hung around there for about 2-3 days, and then kind of rebounded and went up for a few months, or kind of went sideways for a few months, but well above the line. But the one I wanted to show you, like I said, this goes back a year, this support line. It's beautiful. It's held beautifully. But right here is what I want to show you. So this is from September 21st of 2021. Right? We went down, wicked below it, but we closed above it. But we spent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 9, 10 days down there, right? Before we took off. And when we took off, that's when we went up to 69,000. So it's not a bad thing that we're hanging out down here. And just like back then, we wicked down, touched it, wicked below it, closed above it, went up for a few days, came back down for a few days, and then just kind of went sideways for a few more days, and then we took off. So it's not, hey, as long as we're hanging above that line, I'm not worried. And I hope you're not either, because like I said, we're at or near the bottom, in my opinion. So, 6 days right now. And if we go to 9, 10 days, we might have 3 or 4 more days hanging out down here before we start moving up. And if we move up, I have another line right here, a resistance line, this upper red line going again from lower right to upper left, that I think is kind of a resistance line going back that same amount of time. So to me, it's almost like we're in a descending channel, which I think is probably bullish. Although, like I said, I'm not a TA guy. But so, it's not out of the realm of impossibility to go right back up and touch this line up here. Right now, it's kind of around, 44,000. And if we do, and we break above it, then we might be off to the races. So it's a long way to get there. Not going to happen tomorrow. Probably not going to happen next week. But it could happen. So that's why I've been advocating that, you dollar cost average where we're at. And in the end, if you're dollar cost averaging in to ADA, right now it's like 56, 57 cents, whatever it's at today. Does it really matter if you're dollar cost averaging at 56 cents as opposed to 49 cents or 45 cents? Dollar cost average, and you'll be well rewarded within, a year or 2 years. Okay. So that's one thing. That's the first thing I wanted to bring up. So let's go to, I wanted to bring this up. Now, on my videos, I've been talking about how you don't want a girlfriend who just lies there, right? And I kind of saying the same thing that Sam Bankman-Fried, the founder of and CEO of FTX, a crypto exchange, right? He basically said, I'm not sure when he said it, a few days ago, but said that he doesn't think that Bitcoin has a future as a payment network, and he's gotten a lot of grief for this. And I've kind of said the same thing, right? Bitcoin to me, it's beautiful as a store of value, right? It's a place where there's only gonna be 21 million Bitcoin. You get a Bitcoin and you hold it for 30 years, and in 30 years, the value of that Bitcoin will be, exponentially higher than the dollar value that you purchased it at, right? But that, to me, that's all that Bitcoin is good for. It's not going to be a payment of exchange, despite what all these people are telling you. And I think Mr. Bankman-Fried did comment that maybe a layer 2 like Lightning or something to that effect can help spur it as a unit of exchange, but that's not Bitcoin's purpose. Whereas Ethereum and Cardano, not only do they serve as that store of value, but they don't just lie there. They can improve, they change, they're malleable to the things that the dApps and the protocols that are built atop those platforms, right? And so while let's just read what Mr. Bankman-Fried said here. He said that he was convinced that the world's largest cryptocurrency blockchain still faced high transaction inefficiency and posed a huge problem to the environment. According to him, Bitcoin's proof-of-work system, which is used to validate transactions was its greatest limitation in scaling up to cope with the millions of transactions that would be needed to make the cryptocurrency an effective means of payment. And he's totally right. Bitcoin just lies there. It's not going to be a means of payment. But Cardano and Ethereum, which don't have the great environmental impact that he's alluding to here from a proof-of-work, platform. Ethereum is proof of work, but they're changing it to proof of stake. Cardano doesn't have that limitation right now, and to a certain degree, I think the claims that Bitcoin is as bad for the environment as many people think it is a lot of FUD. And I think the value that Bitcoin has as a store of value greatly outweighs its negative environmental impact. Negative environmental impact. Everything has a negative environmental impact. Gold mining. Nobody's talking about taking out the mining of gold, which probably has a worse environmental impact than the mining of Bitcoin, or just your legacy financial system. The amount of electricity and probably coal burning electricity and fossil fuel burning electricity that the legacy financial system uses is probably greatly outweighs the amount used by Bitcoin in its proof of mining flow, right? Or proof of mining, proof of work platform. So I think, hey, at least Cardano, right? But Cardano doesn't have that, so that's one benefit. And Cardano is also a store of value, but Cardano also has other fundamentals and use cases, a utility that Bitcoin will never ever have. And so, like we started with the technicals. Technicals are looking good. That support line is holding, but the fundamentals are even stronger. Let's look at a fundamental. The Vassal hard fork. Now, if you're familiar with Cardano, you're probably familiar with the hard forks that are put in every few months. It seems a new one is coming out, right? A hard fork. But this one, I think, is shaping up, as this article says, to be a huge deal. Just like the other upgrades. Now, if you've tracked Cardano for a while, like I have, when there's other upgrades that come out, the price seems to get a little bit of a bump almost on every single one. But this one, which is named after a Cardano ambassador named Vasyl Dabov, it will introduce a major scaling enhancements for decentralized applications, dApps, including pipelining. So the millions of transactions that are limited on Bitcoin, as stated by Mr. Bankman-Fried, that's going to be alleviated a little bit on Cardano. The fundamentals on Cardano have never been stronger. So Charles Hoskinson went on to say about it that he expressed the importance of the upgrade and stated that the TVL, the total value locked of Cardano, will soar once the upgrade goes live, as it will usher in even more dApps. dApps, from my understanding, there's several dApps that are waiting for the Vassal hard fork upgrade, which I think is scheduled for the end of June, like June 29th. They're waiting for that Vassal hard fork to be completed and its efficacy proven before they go on the Cardano platform. And when that happens, the total value locked of Cardano will exponentially increase, meaning those coins will be locked away. Those ADAs will be locked away and not subject to everyday trading. And once that happens, millions and millions of new coins get locked up. That really the only impact is the value of those coins will go up because there's not as much of a supply to meet the demand that will be greatly enhanced through after the Vassal hard fork. So and Mr. Hoskinson went on to say that what most also don't understand is that many Cardano dApps are waiting for the Vassal hard fork in June to launch to benefit from pipelining. So it seems we ain't seen nothing yet on TVL, he tweeted. So that's just huge, right? The fundamentals for Cardano have never been stronger, and we've been touching on them just one or two, on a video every once in a while, right? And this is just the next one that's coming. I think, like I said, June 29th. And it's going to be huge. It's going to be big. And to increase the capacity of the ability of Cardano to transact, the amount of transactions that will be able to flow through Cardano after this hard fork is going to increase exponentially. So I've never been more excited. And I hope you are too. So, let's bring it back to me just for a second. So I think things are looking awesome for Cardano. Now, the other thing that I wanted to bring up is every Monday, right, we have decided that we're going to invest $100 fictional money, because I put my real money in place on Fridays, but I want to track how Cardano, ADA, and Ethereum are going to do as a return on investment with new money that's put in, as opposed to Bitcoin versus Bitcoin. Put that new money to work at the bottom of the market. And as I've said, my prediction is at the end of the year, and a year from now, and 5 years from now, and 10 years from now, the money that you put to work in ADA and Ethereum today will greatly outpace the money that you're putting in Bitcoin today. So we put our initial $100 investment in last Monday, and I want to put a new $100 in today. And so that's what we're going to do. So let's go check out. Well, first I wanted to check out how our initial investment is doing last week. And my prediction isn't looking so good, but it's only been a week. And as I've been telling you, when Bitcoin goes down, Cardano and Ethereum are going to go down a little bit more, but that's not going to last. So let's go. So as you can see, we put $100 in last week, and right now our $100 of Bitcoin is worth $97.69. But our $100 in ADA and Ethereum are down a little bit more. ADA is at $90.50. Ethereum is at $89.83. So I'm kind of surprised Ethereum is just even a little bit lower than ADA at this point. But like I said, when things start improving, ADA and Ethereum are going to greatly outpace Bitcoin. And I think, in my opinion, your return on investment in ADA is going to be just slightly a little bit better than your return on Ethereum. So let's do it. Let's put $100 in today. So I'm going to write these down, and I'm going to put it out on Twitter. Well, the new amount that we're purchasing on each of these. So we're going to buy $100 worth of Bitcoin at $30,109.68. We're going to buy $100 worth of Ethereum at $2,042.97. And we're going to put $100 in Cardano at 56 0.5699 cents, 0.5699 cents. Okay. And I will put those amounts out later. So follow me on Twitter at crypto_liberal, and you can follow along with the new amount that we purchased in each of those. And you know, at the end of next week, at the end of this week, I'll openly show you where we're at. And hey, I'll take the hit if my prediction doesn't end up being true, but my prediction is for the end of the year. So we'll see where we're at. So I hope you're as excited as me. You know, things have never looked better for Cardano. I think we're gonna do well, right? We're gonna do well, and you should be happy that at the price of these low prices, because this is the time you want to get in. And I hope some of these things that I'm sharing give you some confidence in the crypto space, because this is when you're going to make money, is getting in at these prices, because they're not going to stay here, and maybe they're not going to stay here very long. If that lower support line holds for a few more days, and then we start going up, that resistance line up above us at 42,000, maybe that comes into play soon. Maybe it comes into play sooner than I think. I don't think it's going to be that soon, but hey, you never know. So, you know, join me. Like this video. Subscribe if you're so inclined. I think we're going to have a good time. I'm going to be here every day, because I'm just so pumped up at what the future holds, and I have nothing else to do. I think this is fun. And I just want to alleviate hopefully some of your fear, because there's no reason to be fearful right now. This is the time to be excited. And with the elections coming up, hopefully we can talk more about that in the coming months, because I know there's a big one in Pennsylvania tomorrow, and there's some psychos running on the right, and we don't need them. So I think lost you for a second, but that's it. That's all I have for today. Okay. So thank you for joining me. Like the video, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at crypto_liberal. And thank you for joining me. I love you. I know I don't have many viewers, but I hope you join me on the journey. And hope we can grow the channel, because I'm just so excited. So thank you. Have a good night. Enjoy. Bye.